Hey, Chris Zaldain here for Seaguar Line. I want to show you the FG knot. And of course, this is a braid to fluorocarbon knot, probably the most popular knot on tour right now. You know, we've used the Albright Specials, the Crazy Albertos, the Uni to Uni, and by far, to date, the best knot, hands down, the strongest knot, the cleanest knot, the smoothest knot through your guides is the FG knot. And here's how you tie it. One of the biggest things to keep in mind when you're tying the FG knot is just having tension on your line. So whether you decide to tie it in your teeth, in your mouth to provide tension off the rod tip, or like I'm going to show in the video, tie it to your spinning reel handle. You know, you just want to offset the reel handle to the bottom of the bottom of the revolution here, so it's offset. But basically, whether you hold it in your teeth or hold it on the reel handle, just make sure there's tension on it. That's one of the most important things to tying the FG knot. Of course, this is a 15-pound test, flash green smackdown. Love it on my 25 to 3,000 size spinning reels. Of course, this is a 6.5 foot spinning rod, but again, that tension is absolutely key. And here's how the knot is tied. I grab my Tatsu. I almost use Tatsu exclusively for my leaders, whether I'm fishing smallmouth, largemouth, or spotted bass. And basically what I do is I grab my 200-yard Tatsu spool and I just give 3 pulls off the spool, which is roughly 9 feet or so. So doing that, that's my leader length. And basically we grab our 10-pound test Tatsu leader, and I'm gonna have 3 to 4 inches of line out off my fingertips here. So if you could see that, I'm gonna try to keep it still here. And basically what I want to do is build a weave. It's almost like a Chinese finger trap. Every time you pull on it, it gets tighter and tighter and tighter. So this is what we do. I love to start out laying the fluorocarbon on top of the braided line, in this case 15-pound smackdown, and I'll go ahead and just, you know, cross line it here, and basically we're doing weaves, and I want to do simply 37 to 41 weaves. So let's call it a round number, 40. So basically lay it on top, and I'm just going to weave back towards me once, and then outside, that's 2, almost like a figure 8, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We could go ahead and either speed up the video or just watch how the tension, 11, 12, the tension of the rod tip keeps this knot tight as I weave that trap. We're on 17, 18, 20. See how the tension of the rod tip keeps that smackdown nice and tight as I weave that fluorocarbon into the braid. "27, 28, 29, 30. Most people stop around 30. I like to do a nice 40 weave wrap. Okay, now that's 40 there. Now from this point, we have a tag end fluorocarbon, and we've got our main line. So I'm gonna go ahead and unwrap this tag end braid here off my spool. And it's real simple from here. Once we have the meat of the FG knot braided, all we do is tie 2 overhand knots over the tag end fluorocarbon and the main braid. So just a real simple overhand knot. Probably the most important aspect of this knot is that overhand knot I just tied and making sure it is tight. So from the end of the rod tip to your tag end braid, tight, real tight knot. Just a simple granny overhand. So that was 1 and 2. Real easy. Okay, the knot is pretty much done at this point. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is clip the fluorocarbon tag end, which is running parallel with your main braid line. The knot is pretty much done. We just have 2 finishing knots left, which are overhand knots on the main braid. Overhand knot 1, right down to the edge of that fluorocarbon. Overhand knot 2, and literally that is the FG knot done. At this point, whether I'm fishing shallow docks or casting a finesse swim bait super far, super long, I like to leave literally about 1/8 of an inch of tag end line on my smackdown here. In this case, I know I'm gonna go skip some docks. I love a little strike indicator when I'm skipping docks with a weightless worm. So I'm gonna leave the tag end just a little bit longer on that braided line, maybe 1/4 inch. And what that does is it causes a little tag end there, and after time it'll kind of fluff up, and when I'm casting up underneath docks, it acts as a little strike indicator. As that worm falls, I can follow my line back in, but there's just a nice tag end right there. Beautiful, beautiful knot, super, super strong. Overall length is about 1/2 inch. The beauty of it is it's a sleeve. It protects that 10, 12 pound fluorocarbon, whatever you use, and it just glides through the guides just perfectly. So that's the FG knot with 15 pound smackdown high vis green to a 10 pound Tatsu leader. So that is by far the strongest knot you could tie braid to fluorocarbon. That's the Seaguar FG knot.